So we have a new category, open monochrome. And we begin with the first image, The Lion King. I think it's landed on what looks like a pretty fair score with what the panel's thinking. Yeah, I think got a bit far to go there, Mike, but you scored a good score. Say what it is and maybe some comments for the photographer.
What's it
Sure, I gave
scored?
it sorry,
I'm sorry?
90. I gave it 92.
Yep.
I just thought it was the closeness, the intimacy that you've got with this creature is just incredible. And it's through focus and lighting. It's the textures in there are just beautiful, and just yeah, it's an original capture for me.
All right. Thank you, Michael. And just for those out there, when sometimes the judges slip up and say 92 instead of 9.2, we know it really means the same thing. So we'll accept that score and we'll move on.
What did it score, Russ?
8.6, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a new image and it's called The Crow. All right, we have a result, which is 8.72, which is also fairly representative of the panel. But Michael, you're in the nines. Maybe we can talk about this one.
Yeah, look, I'd like to because I gave it 9.1. In the medium of monochrome, I think this is exceptional in terms of the tonal separation, just the capture of a moment, uh, the length of the exposure with the snow coming through there. I think all the elements, the sea in the background. I mean, this is quite a unique image that I haven't seen before, and it's been photographed. So absolutely beautiful, and it's this. I can't see a fault. So I've gone into the 90s.
Thank you, Michael. The esteemed Jackie Rankin, what are your thoughts?
Okay, I've given it 8.4, and I'm listening, Mike. My question marks often came up with that one bird and the power of that bird in that space. And was it too powerful? And that's where I was getting pulled back a little bit. Um, I'm trying to crop some of the top off, and I guess because I'm trying to do something to it, it didn't feel quite perfect enough for me. But I can bring my score up higher into the 80s. But maybe I need to have some of those balances addressed.
Rachel, you supported the print as well, or the image as well. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I scored a 8.8. I can come up, Mike. I've been looking at it. And so initially I scored it that mostly because of the title of The Crow and that one crow not being perfectly focused. However, I've concluded that that's it needed to be like that because of the emotion and the elements of the weather blowing around. And if you'd had a really sharp shutter, you potentially wouldn't have got quite as much drama from the snow. I think it's great that they've included the addition of making sure that the sea is obviously sea, waiting for the wave to break, sort of thing, to give it more context into the like fish drying racks being there, and they're all meshed in so that the birds can't get in, and obviously when there's fish in there drying or whatever. So yeah, I think it's really successful, and it has emotion and mood, and a really nice balance. So I'm happy to come up.
Well, lots of very supportive words there, so perhaps reflect that in your buttons later on. Chris, just quickly, any words from you, mate?
Oh, I can hear the wind blowing through this. It just puts you there, doesn't it? It's just gorgeous. It's the decisive moment of that bird captured there. Just sets it off. It's stunning.
Okay, bring it home, Mike.
Yeah, look, it's a graphic photograph. There's actually three birds, not just one, and we all love threes, don't we? So yeah, anyway, I'll just leave it there. Thank you.
Can I just say that I didn't actually get to score it because it was faulty, so I'm going to
Oh,
get my score up anyway. I always would have.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you. Thanks for that, Lynn. All right, well, let's give ourselves the opportunity to rescore here. All supporting the image. Let's see what we end up with. Rescore, please. Well done, panel. I think that's a worthy result at just over 9 at 9.04. We're going to accept that. And good discussion. Photographer will be very pleased, I'm sure. And next image, please. And it's called Delicate Cosmos. Simple images, once again, result in quite emotive responses, and we're going to talk about this one as well. So we have nearly a 9 at 8.98, which I don't accept, and we're going to talk about it. And once again, we'll lead off with you, Michael.
Yeah, I gave it 9.5. As a black and white study, the tonal separation in this is just exquisite. It's the detailing and all the tones through here have been separated out just so beautifully. And the fact that it's slightly off center has given it that sort of wabi-sabi feel of it's not quite perfect, but that makes it even better. So that's where I'm coming from.
Thank you, Michael. And Lynn, do you support the image as well, I see?
Yes, I did. I gave it 92, I think.
Yep.
Beautiful black and white. The little dark bud on the extra stem on the left side just balances the whole thing. I love the curvature of those frondy shaped leaves coming round. And I couldn't fault the image. I thought it was stunning.
Thank you. Well, we've got everyone pretty close to the 9, so let's rescore and perhaps make it happen.
Can I just say
Yeah.
one thing, Russell?
Certainly you may.
I've been looking at this because I've really enjoyed the detail, and I wasn't scoring it as high as Michael did, but I am going to come up because I've found a couple of little caterpillars in the leaf detail, which are just really lovely little, especially sort of on the left of the main image, and they're very subtle, but a very happy journal to find.
Well spotted. I've only just seen them myself. Yeah, that's excellent. So I'm sure they'll drag it into where we know it would like to go. So rescore, please.
I can't go up, unfortunately.
No, you can't, but you've done well, Michael. Well done, troops, and deserved. 9.28. Good conversation. Thank you, caterpillars. Okay, we'll accept that score and we'll go to the next image, which is called antenna. Well done, guys. Thank you. We have an initial score of 8.6, which I'm going to accept because it's pretty much across the board. You guys are in agreement here. So just as a comment for the photographer, perhaps, Lynn.
It's a stunning graphic, there's no doubt about it. I did feel as though both sides were exactly identical, so it's probably been a flip, whereas some of the other type images like this have some variation, but it's very nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. We'll move on to the next image, which is called Khmer Ox Racing. Interesting. Okay. So it'll take me time to take this in. Okay, we have a spread of scores here, so I think that engenders a bit of conversation. It's initially scored 8.72, but we have some strong supporters of the image, and we'll start off with you, Michael.
Yeah, I gave this up 9.2. I just find, even though it's a setup in terms of you know what's going to happen, where it's going to happen, where to focus, everything that the photographer's brought to this has been perfect in terms of timing, exposure, shutter speed, sharpness. It's emotive, it's exciting, it's fantastic in black and white because tonally, all this separates out without clutter. By making it a monochrome image, you've actually made it simpler and therefore graphically stronger. So I believe on all those counts, it's working as a gold.
Okay, and at the other end of the scale, Rachel, your score and your thoughts?
Yeah, I was waiting for this. So initial impact is a really good wow, and I guess I was disappointed when I actually started looking at the finer detail because I feel like the editing has not been very well controlled. The highlights on the forehead of the right-hand ox are messily darkened, and the vignette around especially the bottom right, but all around the image is just a little bit too heavy. I feel like, and the rump of the left ox as well, just that highlight correction and post-processing could have been had a lot more attention to detail paid to it to get it into gold for me.
Okay, thank you for that. Chris?
Yeah, thanks for that, Rachel. Actually, I hadn't seen that. But you're right. Yeah, there's that grayness, isn't there? And what should be white. It's slightly overworked. But I've actually given it gold. It blows me away. Just an incredible action capture. The backlight highlighting, the splash of the water. It's just gorgeous. Yeah, for me, it's just tweaked into gold.
Quick close, Mike.
Yeah, look, I totally agree with you, Rachel, in terms of the highlights. I'm looking at just gold, not 99. I forgive some post-production faults I'll call them. But I think in terms of impact, visual impact, which is
Yeah.
what photography is really about, I think this does it. So yeah, I'm going gold.
Thank you very much, Michael. Let's rescore, guys. Initial score 8.7. Okay, it's pretty much stays at the same. So good conversation. The photographer will appreciate that, and we'll accept that score and go to the next image. Fitting in. Okay, it's an intriguing image. I enjoy it myself. I wish I was judging it with you guys, and it has engendered, I think, reason to converse. We've got an 8.98, so very nearly a 9, and we certainly have some strong support for the image in the panel. And so you can lead it off, Lynn.
I think it's outstanding. I was one of my favourite images in the whole salon. I think the sharpness and the detail in her dress is excellent. I just like the concept. The thing I really love is it's something we don't see every day, and it's well done, and it's different and unique, cutting edge of photography, and we should absolutely applaud it. So I think you should all think about a gold for it.
What score did you give it, Lynn?
Oh, 9.7.
So we can accept the cutting edge pun too, and in support of you, Jackie.
Yes, because I was 9.3. I could now find out how high I can go. I can go right there, because I found it. There was lots of questions coming up for me, and that was engaging. The layers, the metaphors of the lips and the eyes, and the floating torso, the hand control. Yeah, really well done. So yeah, I'll be coming up to alongside you.
Good girl.
Thank you, Jackie. And so, Mike, you found any reasons to change your thoughts there?
Yeah, I'll definitely come up. Thanks.
Good on you, buddy. All right. I think that's been said. Well, let's rescore, eh?
Russell, we're talking
sorry.
about,
Yeah.
we're talking about high gold. So
Well, are we? Okay, good.
well, I mean, Lynn is.
I am.
Yep. Go for it. Go for it.
I scored this 8.8, and I really enjoy the way that we're led into the narrative of potentially not feeling like you are yourself, or not feeling like you are in place. And I was heading right into gold. So the thing that really drew me back is that you can clearly see somebody else's hands, whether that's someone trying to help this this person fit into something, or try and give them a pathway into that. It made me think of what the story was, but we can see their hands and their arms, but we cannot see her left arm. We've lost the detail in that, and that's what kept me out of the gold range. Okay. Oh, sorry, her arm that's on the left-hand side of the image, so her right arm.
Yeah, yep. Oh, well, seeing as we're talking about that. So, Chris, what are your thoughts in? Let everyone have a crack.
I kind of like that we can't see her right arm, actually, because I think that works with the fitting in and how it's put together with pieces and pieces taken out. So that kind of fits in with a piece that's taken out. I'm kind of curious about the narrative. Where what does it say about? Is it something about the personality of this person fitting in and how she fits in, or is it just a cute exercise? I think it's a bit of both. So I was high silver, high 8. So yeah, I may well move up.
Can I say something?
Who was that? Lynn, yes, Lynn, please do.
I can just see the edge of that arm that you couldn't see. I can see it on my screen. But we see so much work that is similar over and over and over again, and it's very, very good. But this is so totally different. And goodness me, isn't that exciting to see something different? So you can pull it apart because of those arms, but they're part of the narrative. I think it's somehow quite mysterious and adds a lot to it. I could look at this for hours and come up with lots of stories. So I do urge you to think seriously about high gold.
Yeah, I think the missing arm is a good dynamic as well, actually. So we're on virtual 9 now, so let's give this image what it deserves, guys, and have a rethink and a rescore, please. Very good. I think that's potentially our highest scoring image today so far at 9.38. So well done, panel. We'll accept that score, and we will move on to the next image, which is called Under Siege. And you're all very close to each other, but it is hovering literally just below a 9 at 8.98, which I think we can therefore talk about. And And Lynn, you lead the show in the 9s at 9.2. What are your thoughts?
Yes, thank you. I thought this was quite ethereal and beautiful. There's a little bit of a trend for these painterly effect flower photographs, and this is particularly well done. I would have scored it more than 9.2, except for the light patch in the top right corner. But I think it's quite lovely and sharp, and I just really am enjoying it. There's little droplets of water floating around and all that milky, smoky, ethereal magic works for me.
Thank you, Lynn. Jackie.
Yes, it worked for me too. I was on 9.1, and I think it's the little ethereal blob on the left that's floating out of the scene that is taking me around the corner and can allude to other things going on. Just a bit of sharpness of those central petals having enough clarity that create a difference to the other parts of the scene. It's ethereal, it's emotive, and it's that emotive impact that brought me into the 90s.
Thank you. Chris.
I love these sort of still life shots of foliage. I'm a lover of foliage, and particularly dead foliage. And this looks like it's quite dead and maybe brought to life. Very heavy on this sort of smoke technique, which just fascinates me. And there were quite a few of these, and I saw one that I preferred over and above this one, but this is magic. So I'm definitely into gold. I was 9.1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. So the ones that aren't into gold are very close to it. So, and this image has original score of virtually 8.99. So let's just work on it when we rescore. Thank you. Thank you, guys. We've brought that into the 9s as well at 9.12. Photographer will be very pleased, I'm sure. Thank you for the conversation, and we'll accept that and move on. HB2. Thank you, judges. We have very even scoring across the board, so I'm actually going to accept that score, but a comment for the photographer, please. Let's have a think about this. Michael.
I don't know what the score is, but I gave it 8.8.
Sorry, it's 8.66.
Okay, right. I just thought for a straight capture of something which is reasonably ordinary has been incredibly well captured. Tonally, the separation's just gorgeous, and I think it's a beautiful image. The panorama crop is perfect for it.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to accept that score. And we have Rush Hour. Thank you for that, judges. The scores are in at 8.5, which is pretty even across the panel, actually. In support of the photographer, Chris, what have you got to say, buddy?
Oh, just a really gorgeous piece of design, well seen, well captured, and then a bit of post-production manipulation with it. It's got all these elements, the stars in there, just setting it off. Yeah, beautiful piece of work.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So at this point, we're going to have another couple of, we'll accept that score. All right, so we have a judge change for those out there. We now have on the panel Gerard Emery, Shah Devine, Chris Trail, Lynn Clayton, and Rachel Smith. And they are judging the next image called Surrounded in the Woods. We have fairly even scoring, guys, and I'm going to accept that score. Perhaps, Gerard, if you can support the photographer with any comments?
Yeah, you're going to go on mute. Good, excellent. Right, this is a beautiful photograph. I love the different tones in this and the diagonals all coming together, but also like the little highlights that are peeking through the branches as well. So, no, I just think this is very beautifully captured. I had a score of 8.7.
You did. Thank you very much for that score too. And the resulting score is virtually 8.5, which is a good score. We're going to accept it, and we're going to go to the next image, which is called Dystopian Cloud. Right, we've got a great score already, but we are going to talk about it as we do with really great shots. So this has already scored virtually 9, flat, 9.02, but we have some strong support for the image in amongst the judges. And Rachel, you're going to start off the conversation.
Yeah, I scored this 9.8. I feel like it's got a fantastic otherworldly, it takes you to whole new dimensions, great feel about it. I was initially wondering at the different gradations and lines through the upper portion of the image, but they are very intentional and almost like the elements of the the blurred lines and elements of the background have been woven to help create this this very ethereal mood, and yeah, make all of the other elements, the architectural elements, stand out. So I think it's been very well done. I couldn't actually find any flaws in it, and yeah, so I've scored it 9.8.
So jumping to the other end of the scale, Lynn, your score and what you thought?
I gave this 8.4. I wanted to love it a lot more. I find it's the image of two halves. So the right-hand side I love, the left-hand side is really good, but they don't gel for me. And I think the right-hand pillar disappearing into the clouds, which I like, but the left-hand strong main pillar runs out the top of the image. So I just felt they could have done a little more.
Okay. And Chris, what are you thinking?
Absolutely love this. The anemic color tone, clinical in its color, quite cold. You know, our eye just has a good time within this image. It goes to the dark area, the sort of circular area in the middle, gets lost in all the spots and dots and lines, and then it moves up to this lovely bright light to the left, upper left, and just sort of runs through there quite beautifully, but doesn't run out, just rolls back in. So it's a great piece of graphic design. The balance is sublime. It's perfect. And the touch, just that little touch of that car in there, I think just keeps it real as well. So it's a piece of modernism, cubism, really.
All right. Thank you very much for those comments, Chris. And sitting on the fence, pretty close there, Gerard, what's your thoughts, mate?
I like this. I'm sort of distracted by sort of the highlights around the left pillar, though. That sort of like it's been, I don't know, over sharpened or something like that, and I don't know. Sort of it distracts me a little bit, but it's a great shot. Very dystopian. So so I think 8.9 is quite a good score for this.
Fair enough.
Happy to sit where I am, and yeah, I like the shot. It's nice.
Well, if you want to bring it up into the high nines, Rach, bring it home, mate.
Yeah, I'm still not banging, pushing for the fun to come up into the high nines. I don't really mind the highlights on the left-hand side. I feel like that actually brings us through to the very vertical highlight edges on the darker towers, and because we've got those verticals and then the bright horizontals taking us across. So for me, that left-hand side is actually mirroring, but just in a slightly different tone, the other elements through the image. And yeah, I think it's incredibly well put together and constructed. So yeah, high nines.
Thank you. So a lot of thought gone into that image, a lot of thought gone into the judging of it. Let's see what it results in. Initial score, 9 point. Well done. It's lifted a little bit to 9.14. May make all the difference in the end. We don't know. We'll accept that score. Good conversation. Let's move on. Next image, Kaimanawa tenderness. It's come in at 8.6, which I'm going to accept because it's pretty even across the board. But Chris, I'm sure you'll be able to throw some nice comments in there for the photographer.
Oh, horses, aren't they just glorious creatures to photograph? The textures and, you know, and their fur and their skin is just gorgeous. There is a lovely connection between these two horses as well. I actually gave it gold, but put off by the little block down the bottom right corner. That would have been so easy to lose that, so I'm a bit distracted by that, but this was gold for me. Just tweaking.
Okay, we'll accept that score. And we'll next image, please. Cherry Orchard. Okay, thank you, judges. We have a score of 8.76, which I think is also very, very indicative of the panel. I know, Lynn, you scored it in the gold, so you can make a comment. I am going to accept that score, so you can make a comment for the photographer, perhaps.
I think it's an exquisite image, very well composed. I wished it would stay up on the screen. It's very Japanesey to my way of thinking, and I just thoroughly enjoyed the clumps of snow sitting on the tree and the funny little skinny branches that hasn't been pruned. rising up from there. And you can move through the image and around and back. And I definitely think it's worthy of a gold.
Thank you. You're out on a limb there a little bit, but still the score is a very good one at 8.76, so the photographer can be very happy, and I'll accept that score and we'll move on. And the next image is one handsome iguana lizard. All right, so we've got a score of 8.6, which is indicative of 80% of you, but we're going to talk about it. So to take it away is one half of the super couple, because you're going to be scrapping it out against each other. Gerard, what's your score and what are you thinking?
My score is 9.2. This is a work of art as far as I'm concerned. Everything from the catchlight and the lizard's eye to the tones on it, but also the detail and the sharpness. I love the focus as well. You know, the way that we've got the shallow focus and the lizard's right leg is dropping out, so we're concentrating on its face, but it's just got such beautiful tonality through the entire image. I just love it.
Thank you, Gerard. So I don't know if you've dried the dishes or not yet, but Rachel, you're on the other end of the scale. At what score and what thought?
One of us is going to be in the doghouse tonight. I scored this 7.8. It is a very nice portrait of an iguana. However, I feel like the heavy post-processing, especially on the left-hand side of the log and the front leg and claw on the subject, have been over edited, and it's caused aberrations, which are really, really distracting. And so I kept it. I definitely wouldn't go into gold. I might come up a bit higher, but it's just too heavy-handed on a part of the image where those are background elements. We shouldn't really be worrying about them. We should be all focused up on that face and the face detail and stuff, but the edit is dragging me away.
Okay, thank you for that. Lynn?
I hear Rachel, and it did concern me a little, but I was so in love with the detail in the iguana and the light in its eye. I still think low gold is a good place for it. It's difficult. I think, yeah, I really love the detail in its head. Maybe they could have cropped off a little on the left, and that would have eliminated some of that. So I wouldn't go any higher than the 9.1 I think I gave it.
Yep, that's what you gave it. So, Gerard, closing comments on the image, mate.
I understand that, you know, it's got a couple little things that needs doing, but that's why I haven't put down a 9.9 on this. But I think this is stunning, and I do think that, you know, listening to the comments that you've made, if I could go higher on this, I think I would. I think this is absolutely beautiful. So I listen to you guys, and I take your point on some little pieces, but that's not good enough to slam it, I think.
Yep, fair enough. Good defence. We'll
She's in the
rescore.
doghouse. She's in the dog. Bring it up. Come on, let's do it.
I find the background a bit distracting, a bit busy.
I didn't ask you. Quiet there, please, in the cheap seats.
And also, I just want to add, I think the background actually is quite pleasing. It's not too busy at all, and it's lovely, but it's subtle.
Order in the house, please. We'll rescore. Initial score 8.6. What are we going to have? Thank you. It's lifted a little 8.74. Points help. Photographer will accept that. We'll accept that. The photographer will be happy. Let's move on to the next image, which is called The Pianist and the Singing Crow. Thank you very much. I'm going to accept that score, 8.66. Comment for the photographer, Shah.
Russell. I think this is a really interesting concept. It just needs a little bit more development to get it higher up into the scoring range. It just feels a little bit predictable and we a little bit deliberate. Her hands just need to be a little bit softer, more looking like a piano player. I think even if she was put in modern clothing, it would have a little bit more believability, and that's I think just what the image is lacking a little bit here.
Thank you. We'll accept that score. Change of season. Thank you, judges. We have initial score of 8.56, which I'm going to accept. It's pretty even across the board. Perhaps a comment for the photographer, Lynn.
I really like the layers in this and the stormy atmosphere you've created. However, I probably just wanted a little more detail in the back or in the top half, but it's very, very pleasant and it certainly shows the weather changing.
Thank you very much. We'll accept that score. Next image. And we have Basilica. Quite a quick reaction to that image and pretty even across the board, so I'm going to accept that score. Gerard, a little comment for the photographer.
What was the score?
Oh, beg your pardon, score's 8.5.
I scored this one 8.8. I think with the subject matter and with the almost like this ICM looking type shot, I think it's very mystical and very well structured. Actually, I think it's nicely balanced and a good shot.
Thank you. We'll accept that score. Next image. Exodus. We have an 8.6. I think I'm going to accept that score actually. It's pretty even across the board. But Chris, you've particularly liked it, so you can speak to the image for the photographer.
Yeah, I just think it's a gorgeous cultural portrait, really. The way she merges with the background, the craftsmanship that has gone into this is immaculate. This merging with the birds and the stone and the architecture and the fashions that she's wearing, holding the chains brings an interesting narrative into it. I think it's more and more intriguing the more I look at it. So it was gold for me.
Thank you for that. And we'll accept that score at 8.6. Very good score. And that was the end of that category. So well done.